one thing I like telling people is that I've never been in a relationship.
Okay.
And it's intentional. Because I feel like going into a relationship means you are getting to know a new part of yourself from the other person's point of view. Meaning you don't even know yourself.
Yeah.
So if you don't settle down, know about yourself, learn about yourself, the same way you spend time in the university, 4 years, 5 years course, trying to understand the course, do the same thing for yourself. In the course of the university, study yourself as well. If you know that the time is not enough for you, after university, still take out time and study yourself before you get into a relationship. That's why people will come and say, oh, I like this today. Tomorrow they'll say, no, I don't like it. Next tomorrow they'll say, this is how I love my things to be. Another day they'll say, no. That's because every single person that they've been with, they have different versions of themselves coming out to that person.
Bata bata, bata bata, bata.
Turn it up.
I told you now.
Please.
You are worse than me.
Another year is ending. Shey you dey whine me.
All right, boys and girls, welcome to the Batter Box podcast. My name is Benji, as always. This is the podcast where we like to talk about trending issues and topics, surrounding the African culture. And sometimes we like to expand the conversation and talk about topics bothering the whole human society and our culture and the human race, basically. Yeah, so you can join the conversation if you want to be a part of the conversation. You can hop on our socials at Batterbox on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and also our YouTube channel. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel at Batterbox Podcast. And there are other podcasts up on the channel also. You can also, listen to them and also drop your comments. Yeah, we'll be reading some of your comments as we move forward with the podcast. All right, so getting down to the business of the day. So today, the topic we're going to be talking about is tales of a Nigerian graduate. The whole challenge and pressures we feel as young Nigerians coming out of school, coming out of university, and going to join the workforce. The whole pressure that comes with it, basically. How do we as individuals, deal with this kind of situations, and how do we try to make things, because obviously everything cannot just work as planned. That's life. At some point in your life definitely is going to happen to you. So now, as a fresh graduate, how do you handle these pressures, these challenges that comes with graduating from school, and then people around you expecting so much from you, especially your parents expecting so much from you, or even you yourself expecting so much? Definitely you would have had plans when you were in school that once you're done, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, and make some things for yourself, achieve some goals, achieve some dreams. And sometimes all these things do not usually go as planned. So today we are going to be discussing these things that cause these challenges that we face every single day as young Nigerians. I am here today with a very, very special person. I've known this person for like 29 years, and she's an amazing person. She's an OAP, a multi-talented OAP, former OAP of Eagles FM in Abuja. I had to drag her down here all the way from Abuja to Lagos. Yes, guys, that is how very influential I am. Yeah. Kemi, how are you doing today?
Hi, Benji. I'm good.
Yeah. I know that it's still like a kind of shock to you, the kind of words I use and how I was able to convince you to, leave everything and dump everything in Abuja and come back to Lagos. I know you have been thinking.
It's not easy. Your persuasive skills are... Well, they're good.
Yeah, I know. So I've known Kemi for like 29 years now, so that should give you guys an idea of her age, how old she is. So she's a very, very old person. But me, I'm not old. I assure you, I promise you, I'm a youngin, Gen Z lawa. And today we are going to be talking about the stories of a typical Nigerian graduate, fresh Nigerian graduate and everything. we all go through, the normal typical stories we hear or we have every single day. So Kemi, I think I want to start with you, or should I start?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. Going into uni, the whole thoughts I had about uni, the whole fantasy I had in my head about uni, and especially the course I wanted to study at the time, was definitely not what I saw when I entered uni. It was a very different one entirely, because I studied communication, and all my mind was that, I'm probably going to be in the studio 247, doing radio, not really having time. My classes, I thought that my classes were not going to be as much because of the kind of, course I was studying. It had a practical side of it, which I think was more important than the theory side and the whole studies basically. But my guy, when I started day one, week one was really crazy, and it was not even funny. Half of what I thought would be, or what I thought my experience would be like, I wasn't even getting half or a quarter of it. It was crazy, something else entirely.
Let's just say that normally when I go into stuff, I don't know, I try as much as possible not to have so much high hopes. When I got into the university, I just thought, an extension of secondary school. So obviously I'm there for the books and all of that. Truth be told, when my dad was telling me, when you get into school, make sure to come out with first class, I was yimoing. I can't do that.
Everybody did that. Everybody.
Because on the first day during our orientation, one of the lecturers said that nobody in the past how many years, so and so years, has gotten first class and all of that. So even if I try, it means that there's going to be a hindrance. So why even put so much effort into trying rather than learning? But I didn't go in with a lot of expectation anyway. I went in more like wanting to know more about stuff. And the truth is, I went on to actually know more about stuff. I didn't pass a lot of exams. I was like an average student, mostly because I didn't put in effort. Okay. I know I didn't put in effort.
Were you like a bookie? Were you like a bookie when you were in high school?
Oh, please no.
So what were you doing? So you've always had a blank head.
I would not say blank head. I would not say blank head. See, more like not just interested.
Oh wow.
Areas where I was interested in. Take for example, in secondary school, I was never a big fan of a lot of subjects. Okay. But when it comes to examinations, I would pass.
Wow.
No matter
so how do you do that?
I will pass, exactly. The truth is, I loved how in secondary school we were taught on what we knew and how we understood, rather than being able to cram. Yeah. Because first of all, I cannot cram book. I will only explain it to myself and understand it. Okay. And once I have that understanding, I will use my own words to answer whatever questions. And that's exactly how we were scored in secondary school. Okay. As long as you have an understanding of the topic, and you're able to break it down in a way that even if another person is reading it, they will also understand, you got your mark.
Wow. Well, your secondary school was very good.
And then put down things that didn't matter. Yeah, but university was totally different. You needed to cram the book in university. Yeah. At least the one I went to. You needed to cram the book. And that was not the educational lifestyle I was used to. So I did the one I could and I left the rest to God.
So okay, in the first place, why did you choose what you studied in the first place? And by the way, guys, Kemi and I went to the same school, University of Wales, so we're in the same department and all of that. I actually saw her first in the SUG games when she was running. I think she was running for her level. Yeah, that was the first time I saw her, and that was like love at first sight. But that's story for another day, sharp. So why? So why did you study what you studied?
Let's just say that I had a liking for relations, everything that has to do with relations, international relations, human resources, all the things that has to do with employee relations and everything. That was like my main reason for studying communication. Public relations was like the main thing.
So you didn't plan to be a radio presenter or a TV presenter, none of that stuff.
Funny enough, it's something that I had at the back of my mind since I was a child.
Like a backup plan.
Not necessarily a backup plan, more like something I know I am good at. I've always been good at talking.
Oh wow.
That I already knew. I mean, when I was in primary 5, I was nicknamed Radio Without Battery.
Voila.
You understand? Exactly. So more or less, I would just say it was something I already had at the back of my mind that, I am good at this already. Why don't I study something else? Turns out, doing international relations or public relations, you still had to study communication arts. Yeah. Because you still had to communicate. So I said, okay, why not? I got into school and I was doing everything from journalism to international relations. At some point, I even did public speaking and event planning. Wow. I'm like, okay, this is all still part of communication arts. Wow. It was quite interesting though. Very interesting.
Yeah, because I know that at some point in the course of study, there was like a time when you guys are actually going to like do a movie, like shoot a film, like come up with a film, write the script and, shoot a film as a mini project. I was actually, exactly. I didn't get to watch your own film because I know I got to watch, Skylar's own. I watched the ones where Skylar and Sky. Yeah, I think I watched their own, but I didn't see your own.
Truth be told, I can't remember.
God.
I was part of the writers.
Okay, you were a writer. Okay. Oh, okay. So you were not in for the whole action and everything.
Nah, no.
Okay, so
people in my group were not very enthusiastic about it, so I didn't see putting a lot of effort either. Okay,
fair enough. So I'm sure you must have had lots and lots of experience while in school, both the good and the bad, and I just want you to like share some of it, because it would be like very, very. First of all, were you staying in campus or you were staying off camp?
I was staying off campus.
Oh, okay. So how was that like for you?
Let's just say it helped me and also didn't help me, because I wasn't able to relate with people. It's not like I enjoy it a lot. I enjoy it a lot relating with people. It's not like I enjoy it a lot, but I wasn't able to relate with people. After class, when everybody's like, I'm going to the hostel, have that side talk, have that information that is going around.
Inside jokes.
I've never been a big fan of gossiping.
Wow. But why though? Why? Because I feel like that's like I feel like that's like a female nature to have those kind of things, to have all those things. So why is it different for you?
Let's just say probably I'm a man, because
that will have to be the explanation. That is just so I know that.
Yeah, that's it.
I know that you grew up in a house full of men. Would you say that has been like a kind of influence?
It would have been an influence if they were older.
Okay.
Yeah, but I feel like I already had my likings and my unlikings before they were formed. So I don't think it pertains to whether they were there or not.
So while you were in school, did you ever had any of these moments where I don't know if I would call it like an embarrassing moment, but moments where the lecturer would just like single you out of the crowd to ask you a particular question that you have no idea about?
One thing about me is that I don't have shame. Yeah, so you can never be
shameless.
Exactly. I've been asked several times, like lecturers have singled me out severally to ask me questions, and I'll turn the question around and ask them back, because are you for real? Are you serious? Like
you seriously did that?
Yes, I did that. I think in 3 different classes.
The audacity! Wait, which lecturer was that? First?
It was law and something. The one with law.
Yeah.
I think at some point Ikeayan was well. I'm trying to remember.
Oh, okay. AKIO is understandable, but if it's the person I'm thinking about, Dr. Sena, you would have been in like a very serious problem, except if it's not the same Senam or he has changed.
Oh no, it was the same Senam. It was the same Senam. I don't know, but I felt like I had an aura that people could not just hate me for any reason whatsoever.
Wow.
I mean, I was friendly with everybody.
Okay.
Yeah, but not necessarily friends with everybody. I was very friendly. Yeah, everybody in my sense knew me. I don't think there's anybody that you would ask who Kemi is that they would not know who Kemi is. Yeah. Okay. But I cannot pinpoint everybody's face. Wow. Same goes for the lecturers. If you ask them, oh, there was a student in your class, so and so year, and all of that, they will remember me. That's the thing. But that's what I'm saying. I'm friendly, but not necessarily friends with everybody. Yeah, that was exactly what happened with me. So it's more like making the question not so serious, but at the same time you get my drift about what it is you are asking and what I am asking. So both of us are in the right and nobody's wrong.
Like, let me say, like 60% of my friends didn't go to like public universities. They went to private universities. And then when we came back home for the holidays, our conversations are like very, very different. You understand? When they are talking about their experience in school and all of that. And sometimes when I hear what they go through, and then like I compare with the whole public system we have back in school, I begin to wonder why my school is not like that at some point. Because I think one of my friends that went to, was it Covenant or Babcock? Yeah, I think she went to Babcock. So she was now telling me how the whole how she handles her carryovers. And then I was meant to understand that if you in private uni, if you have like a carryover, you can stay back at the end of the semester. I think they call it summer. I think it's summer class or something like that. You can stay back at the end of the semester and redo that particular course. And that would actually save you time and also help you graduate with your mates at least. So hearing something like that and then comparing it to my own situation, that nobody is even going to look at your face. it was really somehow for me. I really felt somehow because at some point I even thought that probably I'll have to transfer myself from uni to another school, to another private uni, because I saw a lot of carryovers in my not like a lot, but I know that it gets to a point where some of these courses are going to be like a challenge for me, because I had like a focus, I had a plan, and sleeping in the studio was part of the plan. I never planned to be reading 247 or any of that. And then it was really clear that the book was going to be a stumbling block, and I was not going to allow that. And then it was really clear for me. So knowing that now, and then hearing what my friend was saying about their own system now, would you say that the public, like the federal, okay, let me not say public, let me just put it as federal universities now, would you say that some of their policies or some of their structures can be questioned when you are comparing it to the private university?
Let me start by saying that whatever has an advantage has a disadvantage. Okay. Yeah. One reason I like and probably even prefer federal universities is because of the choice. Okay. You are giving the choice to either fail or pass. Okay. Yeah. So it is left for you to know that you spent money in school, paying your school fees and all of that, and it's left for you to decide if you actually want to study or not. Yes, and that's one thing I love about it, the fact that you are giving a choice. You can either fail or you can pass. But in private universities, you are not given a choice. And one thing about human beings is that when they are not given a choice, whatever it is that they are told to do, they would want to do the opposite of it. So I feel like more than half the time there's more failure in private schools. I don't know about the statistics, but I feel like there's more failure in private schools than in public schools. Mostly because you already know what you are going for in a federal school. Yeah. You know that, okay, this is where I want to get to, and this is what I want to do. Yeah. But in a private school, you're thinking about how these people are not letting you be.
Yeah.
That's where your thought is.
Yeah.
People are not letting you be. And then when you finally fail, you realize that, I even have the chance or the choice to rewrite this, to resit this exam. So why stress when I can easily go ahead and resit it?
Okay, now talking about the failure aspect here, what about those lecturers in the federal university that fails you on purpose?
As I said, whatever has advantages have disadvantages.
So that's the disadvantage part of it.
That is one part of the disadvantage.
Okay, one part, yeah, of course.
That's one part of it, because the part of freedom is that people don't know where to draw the line when they're giving freedom.
Yeah.
That is another disadvantage. But as I said, it's a choice. It's up to you. If you want to pass, you pass. If you don't want to, you won't.
Okay. Okay. What are like some of the important life lessons that you would say that you've learned so far with your relationship with people in school, the whole school system, and basically how things were being done in school?
Yeah, life lessons here. First of all, I want to say that if you happen to be going to a private university, make contacts. Like, when I say make contacts, I mean network. Private university is where the gem is. That is, where they say, this person knows this person that knows this person.
Yeah.
Private university have these things that I happen to love about them. Their alumni, they would always go for somebody that graduated from their school to be part of their staffing, their company.
And funny enough, yeah, this particular thing now, it used to be common with federal universities before. I don't know what happened now.
Yeah, that still happens till now, but it's not as tight as it is with private universities.
Okay.
Yeah, it still happens till now, actually, because I know people that have met each other on the road and say, great, fair, and all of a sudden this person is working in the company this person owns. But with private school, it's more like not just the fact that we went to the same school, the bias that we are better than every other person.
Yeah, that's exactly the point. Yeah.
That particular bias is what makes them feel and take them, no matter how horrible the person's character is or the person's work ethics, they still take them. Mostly because they feel like this person is elite. Or elite.
Yeah.
Exactly.
True. All right, so let's move on to the life lessons. What important life lessons have you learned in school?
If you have a goal, work towards that goal. Start from the first day. The very first day you set your foot into school, start from that day to learn. From that very day, start to learn. People always feel like, it's only when I get into the classes that I'm learning. The truth is, that is not where you're learning. That is where you're getting the knowledge. But where you're applying it is not in the classroom.
Yeah.
So when you get into school, that very first day you get into school, that is when you start learning. Mostly because you see people, you see things, no matter what it is you're doing, you realize that you don't have to be book smart alone. You also have to be street smart.
Yeah.
You have to be, communication smart is now a thing.
Yeah.
Because there are people that say, I don't call, I only text.
Yeah.
There are people that say, don't send me an email, I don't look at my email box.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So every single thing is a step towards gaining that degree. Every single thing is a step towards gaining it. And one thing I've learned is do not just pass through the university. I feel like this is already a cliche.
Yeah, but it's very important. Very important.
Exactly. Allow it pass through you as well.
Yeah, that particular point, I resonate with that a lot, because when going into the university, me naturally, I do not like school. I'll not lie to you. I don't like school. I've never been like the smartest person in class or the second smartest person in class or any of that kind of stuff. I've just been like in the middle of everything. But one thing for sure is I know what I'm doing. Do you understand? And being in school, going to school or being in school, anyone going to school has actually made made me understand some things better. There are some things I learned from my teachers in high school, in secondary school, but I didn't really understand them then. But then going to the 4 walls of the university, going to classes, listening to lecturers, what they say, and also sometimes we just get lost in whatever topic they are teaching. We don't actually listen to what they are saying, some backstories and all of that. I think that is also very, very important. Cool.
Exactly. So yeah, make sure the university passes through you as well. Basically, so in as much as you might feel like going for those parties make no sense to you, truth be told, going for those parties might teach you a thing or two.
Yeah.
And you will not know until you go for it.
But did you go for any party, Kemi?
That's exactly why it's a life lesson for me.
So are you like regretting not going?
So I never went for any event apart from one.
Wow.
And that particular one I went for, I think it was in year 1.
Wow.
It was I think, is it FASA or I'm trying to remember.
Akas night.
Faculty.
Okay, Faculty of Arts. Okay.
I think it was either faculty or the departmental night. I'm trying to remember.
It has to be
one
departmental.
of it. I spent only, I think, 30 minutes there.
What?
And I left.
Why?
Exactly.
Why?
30 minutes there. First of all, I'm very claustrophobic.
Wow.
I will not stay where there's heat.
Yeah,
and
so
where
much people.
Me and 1,000 other people are struggling for the same air.
Yeah. Struggling for the same air. Yeah, I get you though. But wow, 4 whole years. I didn't go to any party. You're strong. You're very
strong. I went for one, please. I spent
but you went to
there. That's good enough for me.
But you went to church the whole while.
Not in school, not school church.
Okay. Outside church.
Exactly.
But is that not more crowded than like the school church?
No, not necessarily. I mean, the air conditioners, the walls or the buildings of the church is like really high.
Okay.
Really high. So I mean, there's proper air coming in. Even when the doors are shut, there's still proper air because you can see that there's proper ventilation in it.
Oh, all right, cool. Okay, so moving on from that, I'm very sure, the first day, from the day when you wrote your final exams in school, you were like so much happy. I know I was happy at least from that day because I've been looking forward to the day I'll write my final exam in school. Like from the very first day I got admission to school. So that's how really bad it was for me. We do not necessarily, or we don't talk about the pressures that comes with graduating uni often, which I think is a thing, and our parents don't necessarily understand what graduates or fresh graduates go through, coming out of the uni, and then especially when things are not going the way you planned. While you were in school, or what you are going to do with your life. And I'm sure 2020/2021, I don't know if you ever noticed some kind of suicide spree. Like a lot of young people were committing suicide. Let's say 2020/2021, and I think 70% of the problem was part of the pressures that young people go through post-university.
Yeah, so here's the thing. Going through school and having a lot of plans without having proper preparation is one of the worst things any human being can do to themselves. I mean, you're out here building bridges in the sky. Those bridges will fall. They will be destroyed. They will become potter at some point. So in as much as you want to build those bridges, at least build them on a solid foundation. Yeah, so more than half the time here for me, going into the university, I wanted to bag a degree. That was basically what I went into the university for. Yeah, I'm someone that I like to plan my life stage by stage. I wouldn't want a situation where I have gotten to this stage and I'm beginning to pressure myself, because I don't feel like I should allow myself be pressured by outside forces. I am the only one that can pressure myself. I'm the only one that can say, oh, what you're doing is not good enough, or where you are is not where you're supposed to be. But then, in as much as I am able to pressure myself, I'm also able to applaud myself and say, you have made it this far. A lot of people didn't get to this point, so why are you not happy about it? Yeah. And here's the thing, people do not know how to celebrate themselves. And that's one thing I have come to notice. I mean, I remember after our last paper, a lot of people were excited. I was excited, probably feigning the excitement a lot, mostly because I already had the excitement feeling when I got into the university.
Yeah.
The first 2 years, I already had the excitement that I will graduate and I'll be done.
Yeah.
So during or after the last papers, the excitement was not necessarily there again. Instead, it was more like me thinking about how I would miss these people that I have come to know and come to be with for the past 4 years.
Yeah.
That was mostly what was going through my mind. My mind was not even in the fact that, oh, I'm done with school and moving on to the next level and all of that. I just wanted to be in the moment at that point with these people that I know that I might not see again. That was basically it for me. Because till now, we've not done our matriculation or
convocation.
Exactly. Till now. And this is how many years after graduation.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
I already know that these things is how it's going to be. I tried as much as possible not to let pressures. Because, so I was not part of the first batch to go for NYSC. I know how people always feel like, you need to do this stage like this. You have to continually grow this exact same way.
Yeah. I
cannot be pressured. One thing I know I don't have is shame. Another thing is peer pressure does not affect me.
Yeah.
It cannot affect me. Mostly because I am the maker of my choices. I'm the taker of decisions. Do you understand? Unless I give that power to somebody else, then I know that, at this point I'm powerless. But at least since I have these things, since God has said, okay, human beings, this is what I'm going to give to you.
Yeah.
The power
of choice. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. He has given us that power. And why am I going to give it to another person to push me into a choice I don't want? Do you understand?
Okay. Talking about sorry to cut you. Okay.
Yeah.
Continue. Yeah. Sorry. Continue.
Yeah. Speaking about the university. Yeah. Finishing from school, and here's the thing: the last year, after the last paper and everything that we did, turns out our script got missing at some point.
What?
So for the people that the script got missing, yes, one paper for the people that the script got missing, they said it was a carryover for us.
Wow.
Now here's the thing: it was not our fault that this script got missing. It was not our fault that anything happened, but apparently we were supposed to carry over. And as you said earlier on, that it's in private universities, they allow you receipts.
Yeah.
Here, we're looking at doing another year. And by doing another year, you have to wait till the second semester before you can do that. Because that was second semester course.
Wow.
It was very funny. So I didn't go with the first batch. I don't think I went with the second batch. I think it was like, batch B. That was the batch I went with, the second batch. Yeah. But they had to how do they put it? Sweep it under the carpet. Let me put it that way. And I was confused because, first of all, it is not my fault that I had a carryover. It is the, inconsistency of the lecturer that was supposed to mark the scripts.
Yeah.
That misplaced the scripts. Because I wanted to put it into writing to the dean of faculties to say, okay, where's my script? Remark it.
Yeah.
If you feel like because I know that I'm not intelligent, I'm smart, but I'm not intelligent. I know that last, I'm an average student. Anyhow you want to put it, if I don't get a B, I'll get a C. Yeah. Maybe I will not get an A, but at least BCs have to be there. Yeah. So how am I getting a carryover? Yeah. But here's the thing, even in as much as all of that happened, I did not pressure myself because I realized the people that were with me in that whole phase, they had a lot going through their minds. And I was there doing comforter to all of them. Because my mind was not in the fact that Yeah, my mind was not that, I carried over. That was not my mind. My mind was, I know that this is a mistake and this error is going to be rectified.
Yeah.
That was all that was going through my mind. Whatever error this is going to be rectified. But you see people panicking, talking about how this is going to affect their... I heard a lot of talks that day. In fact, throughout that week, it was like a week-long thing. We had to keep coming back to school to ask questions and all of that. It was quite interesting for me. I don't know about other people, because at that point you get to see that how people pressure themselves.
How they behave under
not just
pressure.
Somebody else. So yes, and this is not pressure by other people. It's pressure by yourself that can be easily avoided.
Okay, I wanted to come from the angle where you
people
said
pressure themselves, and it makes no sense. It made no sense to me.
Okay, so I wanted to come from the angle where you said, first you mentioned that not having a plan before finishing school is a very big problem, and also you also mentioned not allowing external pressure, have its way with you. But then external pressure can also be the government. Now, it's not like a news how the federal government have been making a lot of things really, really hard for Nigerians in the present day for them to succeed. Because now I can have a plan. Let's say, what example will I use now? Okay, during lockdown 2020, I had a lot of my friends that were doing crypto trading and all of that. They were doing all those, Binance and crypto trading stuff. And I think towards the end of 2020, now the federal government came up with this crypto and the CBN, crypto ban, which some of my friends, let me say like 80% of their whole financial life was from that crypto. So now some of them must have planned that, must have had plans that probably by the end of the year or towards the beginning of the new year, they have what they would want to do with the profits they've made off crypto trading. Now that's a plan, but now the external pressure that the federal government have come and crumbled their plan. So now in that kind of situation now, is it like totally their fault, or would they be wrong to like give in to pressure at that point?
Okay, so let me start by saying that in every business, there is risk analysis. In fact, even in events, there are always eventualities. And for me, people that put in 80 to 90% of what they owned into one thing are not very, very smart, because there's a saying that goes, do not put your eggs in one basket. And that is exactly what they did, putting their eggs in one basket. And one thing I've come to learn about crypto is that follow your greed. In following your greed, also watch it. Take profit at your greed level. All these things have to do with how greedy you are. You understand? And for those people that do not even understand market analysis when it comes to crypto, I don't even feel like they should be in the market at all. Yeah, because I remember that period that everybody was looking for something to do. I mean, somebody even told me to buy it at that time. Somebody told me that time it was like 6K. It was 6K. I would own how much? A lot of it. But I didn't buy into it because I didn't necessarily like read into it or read anything into it anyway. I didn't read anything, and that was the period where MMM just finished.
Okay, I can understand why now, because MMM actually did a lot of people dirty.
Exactly. I mean, if you know that, okay, this thing happened at this point, you should have been able to calculate that anything can happen. Even in whatever business it is that you're putting your resources into, you should be able to also still do certain risk analysis.
But then crypto was not like a Ponzi scheme. Crypto is not a Ponzi scheme. It's something like...
I know it's not a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah.
That's why I said it's about your greed level.
Okay.
So if you notice that, let's use Bitcoin for example. When it got to $16,000, people that invested in it when it was still let's say 20,000, obviously you take profit.
Yeah.
You take profit. And then if it builds again or if it drops again, you buy, but you're not going to use the whole 100% to buy.
True,
The profit you made from it, you use maybe 50% of it, you buy. When it increases, you take profit. But people would always say, if this 50% is like betting, if this 50% can rise up to this level or this point, why don't I put 100%? And what if the market doesn't favor you at that point? Let's not even talk about the government. What if the market doesn't favor you at that point? You lose your 100%. Do you understand? In everything, there's always a risk analysis. So in as much as there are external factors, you should have been able to analyze that these things can still come to play. And knowing the country that you live in, knowing the country that you are in, you should know that nothing is permanent. No condition is necessarily permanent.
But personally,
It can be good today, it can be bad tomorrow. It can be bad today, it can be worse tomorrow.
But Nigeria has always been that country. A lot of things is not allowed, a lot of things is not permitted in this country, because like a good number of my friends are really, they don't do, like, let me just say Gen Z, this generation, I think we are the generation that is actually going to, put an end to 9-to-5 jobs and then really start this new work from home culture. So like a good number of my friends work from home, and what do? They do all these social media marketing, digital marketing, stocks and all of that. And now most of these platforms and some platforms that they will need to, do their work effectively, you find out that some of these platforms are not enabled in Nigeria, or in one way or another, the Nigerian government have put some kind of ban or limitations to how you are going to use some softwares or some websites to your own advantage. So this still brings us to the fact that the federal government of the country actually has a hand in the pressures that the young people of Nigeria are going through, actually. Because obviously not everybody is built for 9-to-5. And now it's now looking like the way the whole thing is going in the country is now looking like you must have a 9-to-5 if you're a graduate. If you don't have a 9-to-5, you will suffer. You cannot tell me that you are working from home. What are you doing? You are working from home. You are a Yahoo boy. That's exactly how they are trying to paint the whole picture now in the country. And it's enough for me, if you ask me, it's enough reason to get pressure or feel pressure. And another thing again now, if let's say you are not from like a very, very rich family, do you understand? Probably your family is like average, like just average or middle class, whatever they call it. And then you now see your friend, let's say your friend that you are probably older than, or someone that you are older than and is in your circle, your friend circle, and then you see the person, doing well, and social media is there, he or she is posting every single thing, and then you are just like sitting in one corner and then thinking about your life, what you came to this life to do and all of that. Meanwhile, what you are good at doing, your handwork, or let's say something you are really good at, something you are knowledgeable about, the federal government has blocked every way you can, make it or be successful in that field. Yeah, so that I feel like that too also contributes to the whole pressure we are feeling, especially immediately after school, and why these young people, these new generations are easily get depressed, and then also the whole suicide and everything that comes up every now and then on the internet.
Okay, so here's the thing, yeah. One thing I love about my country and its people, to be precise, the people are the ones I'm talking about, the country itself, I don't know. Yeah, one thing I love about the people in the country is that they would always find a way. They would always find a way, yeah? Now, take for example, you are good at stock exchange, dealing with the stock market, doing back-end jobs and all of that. There are jobs that differ, yes?
Yeah.
Take, for example, the period when they stopped setting financial apps from operating in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Yeah, they stopped setting financial apps from operating in Nigeria because of license and all of that. They were operating from another country, but the apps were supposed to be working in this country. All right, their headquarters were in another country. Several of them like that happened to be in the country. Yeah.
Yeah.
But at least when those people verified whatever it was that was the problem, it continued working.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Now the thing is, we have to understand where the government's problem is coming from for us to be able to deal with it. We have to know what it is that they're saying. They might want things to go a certain way because, I mean, for a country to survive, there has to be law and order.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
So we might have thought that, these people stopped the operation of this stuff. They didn't give us reason. But at the end of the day, they stated their reason why they said, okay, this thing cannot happen here. And not just that, those people that happen to be very good with this soft skill of doing these applications, put it in another thing. That's when we started seeing the rise of other apps that came out. All those other apps that they stopped their operations, other apps started coming out. I mean, the savings app at that point, I'm trying to remember the name, they stopped it. A totally different app came out. Yeah?
Yeah.
And that's one thing I love about the people in Nigeria. You block one way, they find another way.
True, that's
and
true. And
when they find the other way, they try as much as possible to still stay under your law and your order.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
They try as much as possible to stay under your law and order. So in as much as you have set the rules and say, this is what you want, they do it in their way. They make it better for themselves as well.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So that's the beauty of the people in Nigeria. You block one path, they create their own path. They don't even have to, look for. They create it themselves and they make it better for themselves. Which for me, if you ask, I'll say it's a very commendable thing. It's something that I would advise every other person to do as well.
All right. Thank you very much. A lot has been said. Kemi has said a lot and she has given you guys some expos. If you were actually paying so much attention like I was, but then you can always listen to this podcast over and over and over again to get whatever point you want to get. So Kemi, we've said a lot and I want to let you go now, but quickly before that, just want to hear you say in a few words what advice you'd give to the youngins. You call them the Indomie generation, going into university and all of that. What advice would you give to them?
Funny you say that. My brother went to school today, resumed for the first time today.
Wow, that's nice. Which school is that?
Fupre.
Oh, is it private?
No, it's not. It's a federal.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's
nice. I
nice.
sincerely do not know the meaning of Fupre, but I know it's a university, a federal university in Warri.
Wow, that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations to him.
Yeah, congratulations to all of us.
Yeah. So what did you tell him? What advice did you give him? I'm sure you must have sat him down like, okay, let me say like mommy 2 of the house, second mommy of the house.
Oh my God. Well, first of all, I told him that it's not everything you have to react to.
I like that.
Everything will happen. Anything that will happen, but you don't have to react to everything. Sit down, observe, listen, watch, know what is going on around you. You don't have to react to them. At least have an understanding of what is going on around you. Also, if you see people running, follow and run.
Very important. Especially in that kind of place. What do you care? Yeah, run.
If you see people running, don't ask questions.
Don't ask, bro.
Don't do saving of all. Jesus has already died for all of us. Run. Remove your slippers, remove your Crocs, remove your palms. Run.
I like that. Yeah, very, very important. Very important. That is a very nice one.
I also told him to make friends. And when he's making friends, when he's making friends, he should not make friends with people that are in his, intelligence level. He should go outside his intelligence level to make friends. Yeah.
Did you also tell him that, like, did you permit him to get into relationships?
What? Is that what is there in school for?
I don't understand.
Is that what that paid his school fees for?
I don't understand. Is it not part of life? Where will he see his wife before?
Please. Okay, so one thing I like telling people is that I've never been in a relationship before.
Yeah. Okay.
I and it's intentional. Because I feel like going into a relationship means you are getting to know a new part of yourself from the other person's point of view. Meaning you don't even know yourself.
Yeah.
So if you don't settle down, know about yourself, learn about yourself, the same way you spend time in the university, 4 years, 5 years course, trying to understand the course, do the same thing for yourself. In the course of the university, study yourself as well. If you know that the time is not enough for you, after university, still take out time and study yourself before you get into a relationship. That's why people will come and say, oh, I like this today. Tomorrow they will say, no, I don't like it. Next tomorrow they will say, this is how I love my things to be. Another day they will say, no. That's because every single person that they've been with, they have different versions of themselves coming out to that person. So why continually go into relationships when you realize that you're seeing yourself from the other person's point of view, from the other person's eye? Why don't you see yourself from your eye first before you get into a relationship? So by the time you get into a relationship, you're able to define your relationship, know where you're going to with it, and know how it is going to turn out. Nice. And everybody will be fine at the end of the day. So you don't carry your toxicity and enter inside somebody's life.
And then come and appear on Insta blog the next day.
Exactly. Later you come and be screaming, men has come, women has come. My dear, scum has no gender. Scum do you usually choose gender you want to enter? Scum is scum.
Kevin, get out, please, get out. Thank you so much for coming on this podcast. It's been amazing.
Turn it up.
I told you now.
Please.
You are worse than me.
Another year is ending. Sure, you didn't want